16, Leeds Rhinos 22, and a great comeback for the Rhinos in the first half. It was 2023 version Leigh Leopards at the LSV in H1. No doubt about that whatsoever. It was a brilliant, brilliant first half for the Leigh Leopards. And then, of course, the second half was a fantastic half for the Leeds Rhinos. If ever there was a game of two halves, it was this one. Let's go through some of the most contentious decisions in this game first and foremost. Let's get them out of the way. First and foremost, Chris Kendall. 2 no tries. The Tom Amone one, I thought he was in great position. I have to say, he was in a good position. He sends it up as a no try. There was no conclusive evidence. I thought actually there was an angle where it pretty much showed that Amoni might have put it down just before the line. But again, you've got to credit the official there. His positional play for that one, really good. And then there was the Holton one where, he was held up. And again, I've got to say, I think he got that right. Again, great position from Chris Kendall, and we've got to give credit to referees when they're getting in the right position. I don't think every decision he got was right. I mean, the Reece Martin knock-on was a shocker. We absolutely know that. But I think in those two ones, the 2 no tries for the Leigh Leopards, I've got no issue with that. I have to say, be the Raw fans, I have got no issue with that whatsoever. Then we go to potential yellow cards and yellow cards. The Brodie Croft one on Gareth O'Brien. Has he endangered the player? Absolutely, no doubt about that. He's been, and I think what's got him away with that is he's been pulling out of it. He's got it. He's just got it wrong. But you know what? It could have been a yellow. It could have been, for me personally, based on the footage. I think it'd have been a harsh yellow. I'm just going to be saying, look, you be the Roarers out there. I love your team. I was very kind to you all in the shed throughout last season, but for me, that one, not so much. Not so much for me. I'm sorry, no. The Gareth O'Brien holding down, again, really difficult. I mean, we've seen that Brodie Croft one. You think, well, hang on, Brodie Croft isn't yellow card, but Gareth O'Brien putting his hands, but they're the rules of the game now. You cannot do that. The tackle was complete. O'Brien has then put weight on his own teammate instead of trying to pull his teammate off. And by the letter of the law, it's a yellow card. I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying I like the rule, but that is the rule. So actually, yeah, unfortunately, the Gareth O'Brien one is a yellow card. But the one that for me got away for Leeds Rhinos was the Andy Ackers one on 46 minutes on Kai O'Donnell. That for me, all day long, is a yellow card, minimum. Straight arm, straight to the face. Sorry. That, if I'm a Leigh Leopards fan, that one on the Reece Martin knock-on, I'm filthy over. Absolutely filthy over. So anyway, there you go. They're the contentious decisions. Now let's get to the actual game itself. I thought on 25 minutes, Brad Dwyer put a shot on Andy Ackers, went straight for him. Oh, it was a wonderful thing. Old hooker against new hooker of the Leeds Rhinos. That was a beautiful moment in the game for me. The tries that Leigh scored in that first half were very easy on the eye. 2 of them, typical Leigh, down the left edge. The O'Brien one, typical Gareth O'Brien. I think he did a very similar one to that against Warrington, if memory serves me right, last season at the LSV. And then Kai O'Donnell, a typical Kai O'Donnell run. We've seen it time and time again last season. He is fantastic at that sliding run in on attacking the ball with complete tenacity. Over he goes. But for me, perhaps the pick of the bunch was the Umala Handley one. What a brilliant try that was from the young man on his home debut at the LSV. Cracking ball out to the right-hand side. He did a little bit of a juggle, did well to keep hold of it. Over you go. Absolutely fantastic. Now, throughout the close season, I've been saying to my Leigh Leopards fans, I do think they should have gone out and bought a winger. Tom Briscoe, Father Time, for me, he's lost his yard of pace. I think the injury to Briscoe might have just solved a massive problem for Adrian Lamb, because with Hanley on the wing, they've got genuine pace. And for me, a real try line threat. You give this guy space, he's going in. I've done a quick analysis between Briscoe and Hanley. Briscoe and Hanley now both on a try apiece. Briscoe, 8 tackle busts on average in his first 2 games, 3 in this game for Hanley, 1 clean break for Briscoe in his first 2 games, 2 in this game alone for Hanley. But the meters for me, the work ethic, Briscoe has done 105 metres this season as an average, in the games, just over 211 in total. Hanley in this, 164. I think this is a massive opportunity for Hanley. I really do. I think he could cement that position by the time Briscoe comes back, without doubt whatsoever. 43 minutes, half-time, 16-0 Leigh. Hanley goes over again. If it was a given try, obviously it wasn't a try, but if it was, what a try that would have been. His second would have outstripped his first one. The official got that one right. I think his foot possibly was in touch, and I'd like to have seen a behind camera angle just to see on that. But also I think his hand hits the floor before the ball. So no matter which way you look at it, I do think that would have been chalked off anyway. Then on 49 minutes, 2-6 again's really killed the Leigh Leopards, and Rhys Martin scores off the back of that. What for Rhys Martin was a superb solo try. The way he got that ball over the line, that for me galvanised. That first try was crucial for the Leeds Rhinos in terms of belief to kick them on. Really, really good indeed. We've already talked about the sin bin. That came on 51 minutes. And then on 57 minutes, I don't like this. I really don't like this. Leigh Leopards fans, again, don't throw things at the screen. But on 57 minutes, Josh Charnley tries to milk a spear tackle. We call it straight here on Super League Raw. Josh, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? No, 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 no. He feels his back leg going up and he tries to dig his head into the ground. Josh, mate, really? No, that's got no place in our game. We move on. I thought Leigh were going to hang on. I really did with the O'Brien in the sin bin. But no, Frawley goes in. And this was just a few moments before, I think Frankie Holton put the ball down. Frankie Holton had about a 2-minute spell where he had a bit of a shocker. He put the ball down on one end and then he left a gap wide enough for, I don't know, the QE2 to go through for Frawley. Frawley goes in right under the sticks and now it really is game on, 16 points to 12. And then from there, of course, it becomes a Hanley show, doesn't it? 62 minutes, Hanley goes in for one. And then, of course, we know what happens. He goes in again. This is one that's going to really sting the Leigh Leopards. It really is. And I get that. For me, you shouldn't be losing the game from 16-0 up at half time. Yes, after the game, people can talk about Chris Kennedy. I think, like I say, the Amoni one, the whole no tries, I thought his positioning was absolutely superb. I've just got to say that. The Brodie Croft one, could have been a yellow. I think that would have been harsh. The Hackers one all day long was a yellow. Should he be missing the Rhys Martin knock on? Absolutely not. I'm not saying his game was flawless, but, he's only a human being. And I thought the two big ones, which were the no tries that were given to Leigh, they were probably about right, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. It had a bit of everything. There's some cracking hits in this game as well. Leeds, what do we make of Leeds? I mean, last season Leeds didn't beat Leigh at the LSV. I've put them in the top 6 this season, and I think they could be in the top 6 this season. I thought they showed a lot of heart and a lot of character in this game to come back off the canvas and to get that win against, let's be fair, a really competitive Leigh. Leigh have been competitive in every single game. They just need a win, and they need a win quick because, what we don't want to see is Leigh continuing on this losing streak, because that could cause a lot of problems. Of course, with Lachlan Lamb going off. I also spoke about the Lamb injury as well. Fortunately, it's not a bad one. I thought he'd done his quad. But anyway, but should they have stretched him off? I mean, it must have took Lachlan Lamb 5 minutes to get around the pitch. That's got to play with his teammate's head. Got to play with the head on the field of play. If they'd have just basically stopped playing, stretching him off, it's over. Let's get on with the game. But he was that 5 minutes of him trying to get off the pitch. Did that affect the Leigh Leopards? It could have done. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Should he have been stretching off? Wouldn't that have been kinder for his teammates on the field? Were their attention? Oh God, Lachlan looks in a lot of trouble there. Was the mind starting to go? No Asiata, no Ipape, no Lamb. And that's a massive problem now for the Leigh Leopards, isn't it? 3 of their dream teamers last season, they're all out for a period of time. That's going to affect the Leopards over the course of the next few months, without doubt. But anyway, we've said a lot here about the Leigh Leopards. Let's talk in glowing terms in terms of the Leeds Rhinos. I thought the Leeds Rhinos, like I say, played this one really well. In that first half, they were well beaten, I thought, by Leigh. Had the Hanley try have stood, had he actually managed to get that down, I think Leigh go on and win quite comfortably. The fact that that didn't happen, the momentum just started to swing, and Leeds took it brilliantly well. I thought Momorowski had probably his best game in a Leeds Rhino shirt. I thought Lockie Miller had a good game out full back. I think he did a lot of crabbing. I think on a dry track, it's going to be interesting to see how Lockie Miller does. Hanley, 2 simple tries for Hanley, but it's still 2 more. It's still 2 more, isn't it? Hanley in incredible form. If he's in your dream team, you're rubbing your hands together, aren't you, at the moment? I thought Croft was really good. But Brodie Croft was really good in this game. Yes, okay, maybe he should have got a yellow, but 2 of the tries set up by Brodie. He was in and around it 20 times. He had his hands on the ball, 114 metres from Brodie. He's starting to settle in now in a Leeds Rhino shirt. You Leeds Rhino fans must be really happy with that. But who's getting the 3 points? Who's getting the man of the match award? I'm going to give it to Mr. Rhys Martin. Rhys Martin gets the 3 points from Super League Raw. That first try was critical, absolutely critical. So too his 3 kicks, but he was good on both sides of the ball. 34 tackles indeed from Rhys, 10 carries, 109 metres, 4 tackle busts, a couple of clean breaks. Rhys Martin, brilliant performance. For me, back into his best position at second row. Played a lot in centre last season, back in second row. You know he's potent from that position. He had a fantastic game. Congratulations to Mr. Rhys Martin. He gets 3 points. The 2 points I'm going to give to Lockie Miller. I thought Lockie Miller again, this again, he's growing into that Leeds Rhino shirt. For the first time, I thought, yeah, do you know what? This guy looks a little bit of a player. He could be quite, he could be a really good acquisition for the Leeds Rhinos. We know he's got pedigree, but he started to show it, I thought, at the LSV. So we're going to give 2 to Lockie Miller. And I have to give 1 to Hanley. I really do. Hanley in this game, brilliant, absolutely brilliant on that right wing. Not only he's nearly tried, but that work rate, 18 carries, 164 metres, 3 clean tackle bust. He got 2 clean breaks in this game. He was absolutely superb for the Leigh Leopards. For me, what an opportunity this is now for the young man. He's got to grab it with both hands and run with it. And I'm sure he will. I'm going to be really interested to see how Hanley goes over the next few weeks. Do you agree with my 3-2-1 in this game? Do you agree with my assessment of Chris Kendall? Do you agree that Leigh pretty much lost this game because they shouldn't be losing from 16-0? Were you impressed by the Leeds Rhinos? Their never say die attitude. I mean, they've done really, really well, haven't they? Over the last few weeks, they're really, Catalan Dragons, and then to go to Leigh and do this. They were a shadow of their performance at Catalan in the first half of this game, but then from nowhere, they started to grow, and the self-belief and everything else. I thought everybody at Leeds deserve credit for this. They really do. 16-0 down. For me, they should have lost it. They didn't. They clawed it back. It's a massive statement of intent. Those 2 wins, Catalan and Leigh Leopards, we said we expect Leeds. We put it out on a poll, I think, last week on the final whistle, which is going to be available for you tomorrow morning to download as a podcast, as always. We said last week on the final whistle, do you think Leeds will finish in the top 6? And to a man, I think only Callum Calver said no, he didn't see it. I think he'll reassess that after this particular game. But Leeds Rhinos, they're the real deal in 2024. We expect them to be in those top 6 positions. Do you agree with that? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back later in the day with more in the sheds. Ho, 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 the Leigh Leopards 16, Leeds Rhinos 22. See you later.